PhD degree at the University of California, San Diego, and she's focusing on climate science.
All right. So I'm Sara Sanchez. I'm a second-year PhD student, and I study at Scripps Institution of Oceanography in La Jolla, California. And I'm interested in decadal climate variability. And so this is a picture of Scripps Pier. It's a kind of unique pier. Scripps is actually a great place. This pier is only for scientific purposes only. It's a cool school. But so the layout of this presentation is going to be more or less how I got to this point. So I did my undergraduate at the University of Arizona. I majored in environmental science and minored in math. I was the first in my family to go to a undergraduate institution. Let's see, other notables there. I ran cross country and track, and I had the excellent experience of getting involved in a paleoclimate lab there where I used fossil corals to study how the variability of the El Nino La Nina oscillation system, or El Nino oscillation system, southern oscillation system changed over time in frequency and amplitude. It was a really cool experience. However, if it was probably just my undergrad experience, I probably wouldn't be here today. There were a few critical summer experiences that kind of led me to pursue a degree in a PhD degree. So probably the first one was the summer between my sophomore and junior year. I got an internship at the National Science Foundation, and I was looking at research experiences for undergraduate programs in the geosciences. I didn't even know that, I'd never known anyone that had gotten involved with research. I didn't really know what you could do if you did research. It was a totally unique idea, but all of a sudden I realized that people were getting paid to go and spend their summers in really cool places doing really cool work. And I decided I wanted to get involved. So it was after this experience that at Arizona I got involved in Julia Cole's lab and started the ENSO research. And then the next summer, after I'd learned all about REU programs, I applied for an REU program at Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution in Massachusetts, where I worked with Bill Curry and Delia Oppo, still doing paleoclimate, looking at millennial scale climate variability. I used forams and sediment cores to look at how a region off the coast of Brazil responded to abrupt northern hemispheric climate change, which was pretty cool. So now what I'm doing, I'm at Scripps in my second year, and I hope to look at decadal scale climate variability in the North Pacific. So I hope to do this using a combination of models, observational records, and coral cores. So the picture up there is a scuba diver, and what they do is they core corals down the center. Corals have annual banding. Tree rings are more famous, studied for this, but corals still have annual growth rings, and then you can analyze their chemistry and get information about sea surface temperature and other really cool pieces of information. So the bottom picture is the Niño 3.4 index. So people measure El Nino basically by studying the variations, or sea surface temperature anomalies in these little boxes in the ocean. And so if you use corals, you can get a good idea of how big El Nino events were. And then the far right pictures are of the two biggest forms of decadal variability in the Pacific. The first one is the Pacific Decadal Oscillation, and the second one is the North Pacific Gyre Oscillation. And both of these have huge implications for just weather around North America and Eurasia. But the North Pacific Gyre Oscillation is really cool because it impacts a lot of biological systems, like sea surface salinity, nutrient levels, and just a lot of biology. So in the next, short-term goals, I would like to work on presenting my research at, at a bigger level, going to conferences and stuff. I'd also really like to look and explore like interdisciplinary implications. Like if you're studying the North Pacific Gyre Oscillation, there's a lot of linkages to biology. So it'd be kind of cool to see how my research could interact with that. And then longer term goals, get a PhD. Yeah. Oh, and go drilling for corals in tropical locations. Yeah.
Right on time. There you go.